I'm sitting here in Denver, Colorado at the AAJ annual convention with Morgan Adams. Morgan, you are the current president of?
The Academy of Truck Accident Attorneys.
And you are the past chair of?
The Trucking Litigation Group for AAJ, as well as the Bus Litigation Group for the American Association for Justice.
Great. So I'd like to take this opportunity to ask Morgan a few questions. In trucking cases, which I know you handle a lot of all around the country, what are the most common violations you see of the federal motor carrier safety rules?
The most common violations would probably be drivers over hours. Drivers that have logs that they look like they're driving the amounts of time they're supposed to, but they don't record all of their stops. And the reality is they're driving more time than they should. And a lot of times it's because the companies and the dispatchers are forcing them to drive more, or they'll lose their jobs. I find that there are safety violations typically by the company, which in turn, with a bad safety culture, that sort of culture allows a driver to pick up unsafe behaviors. So I find that the unsafe behaviors start with a company and then are mirrored by the driver, and it's in almost every case. The number of trucking companies without a safety budget that won't spend time on training their drivers is truly horrific, and one of the greater problems I think we have in the trucking industry.
Now, are there good truck drivers and good trucking companies?
They're fantastic trucking companies, and there are fantastic truck drivers. I don't see a lot of those because they're not the ones typically involved in wrecks. Ironically, I represent a lot of those as victims of wreck, because the only thing that will take a good, safe truck driver off the road is a bad, unsafe truck driver who is untrained with improper equipment where they skimped on maintenance. So we represent a large number of truck drivers around the country who have been taken out and prevented from working by unsafe truck drivers. And it's really a disservice to the industry to allow these unsafe truck drivers and unsafe trucking companies to undercut.
Yeah.
One last point along these lines: if an unsafe truck company is allowed to skimp on maintenance, training, and safety, and therefore can offer a cheaper price to move a load, what happens to a safe company that has to spend money on maintenance, training, and supervision and all of the right things? They can't compete at the same price, and eventually all of our safe trucking companies are going to go out of business because unsafe trucking companies are so much cheaper that they're hired even though they're more dangerous to the public.
All right. Thank you, Morgan.